Welcome to Daily Success. Listen in on these personal conversations with today's leaders, innovators, and influencers as they discuss daily success principles, systems, and solutions. Get ready for Daily Success. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and this is a really exciting opportunity for me to welcome Philippa Bagley, and she is actually in the United Kingdom. And this just proves one of the reasons why I'm so excited about Daily Success Evergreen Giveaway. It's because we can connect people from around the globe. And Philippa found out about the Daily Success Evergreen Giveaway through our friend Jackie Lappin, who's also giving away a great gift on the Daily Success Giveaway. And it's really exciting. And I was just reading what your gift is, and I just think this is the greatest gift of all, because if I had had something like this when I first started out back in 2009, work at home planner, hey, what value. So before I officially welcome you, Philippa, I'm going to tell everybody more about you. And Philippa Bagley, she helps corporate employees create their own business and safely transition out of their corporate life into a new entrepreneurial one. And it's funny because that just triggered me remembering how fearful I was to make the leap from having that paycheck to becoming an entrepreneur. So I'm really excited to get some more information from you. Her career has been both diverse and challenging. She started out as a secondary school teacher for 11 to 18-year-olds. I bet that was challenging. And she eventually found her way into corporate world, working for companies including Lockheed Martin and Deloitte. During her time there, her experience was vast, from running programs, consulting, and also providing training and coaching across the businesses. She also served in the British Army as a reservist on operations in Afghanistan and uses her combined experiences to offer her clients coaching. That's a really unique background. Teacher, reservist, yeah. Big corporations. That's some serious background right there. So she helps with coaching, training, and accountability in starting, growing, and scaling your online businesses in a way that allows you that safety net or whatever it's called, so you can safely transition out of your corporate lives into a life of your choosing. And her clients are located, of course, globally around the world. And she has clients in the United Kingdom, the United States, Kenya, and like me, she is a cat lover, and she has 3 cats and 1 husband, and they live in the Forest of Dean in southwest England, where they grow a lot of their own food. And one of her current goals is that she wants a dog and some chickens. Well, let's just say a dog and chickens and cats. Hey, why not? The more the merrier. The main thing is make sure that your cats don't have a taste for chicken, and the same goes for the dog, because that can happen. So tell me more about, how did your own experience lead you into creating this work at home planner that you're giving away, and into this world that you're basically an international coach?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me and for that lovely introduction as well. It's so kind. As you said, I had a really diverse career to this point, and I suspect it'll continue to be diverse. I didn't plan anything. I just kind of went with the flow, and my mum was a teacher, so teaching seemed like a good opportunity after university, but actually I love the kids. I hated the homework. Turns out as a teacher, you can't get out of homework. So that was a challenge. And I ended up doing a lot of project management and program management with Deloitte and Lockheed, as you said. But I got to the point where, with the corporate experience, it was, you spend so much of your time doing stuff for the company because that's what a good employee does. And by no means was I ever treated badly. I didn't hate my job. I worked with some amazing people. But there was something in me that wasn't quite there with the corporate life. And as I got older, and you kind of start to think about, what does your life want to look like? You go from that kind of just coping because you've got a big enough salary now to start making better choices about how you live your life. There's no more sort of hand to mouth from the student through to the young career employee. And I thought, do you know what? I just don't want to do this forever. I don't want to give away that much control to a corporation who, not through any malicious reason, but ultimately to big corporations, I am just a number. We are all just numbers. We're there to feed the bottom line and the shareholders. That's how business works, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I thought, I just want to have more control and do more. And I love learning, I love traveling. And so I started thinking about, what could I do? And I originally started off doing a lot more project management than I do now, because that was kind of the core of my skill set. But I've been a coach and I've trained as a coach, and I found that was actually what was needed. And particularly then I thought about my own experiences transitioning from corporate into entrepreneurship, essentially. And you'll know this, it is really hard work. It can be super scary. And you see a lot of gurus who say, just put up a website and sell some stuff, it'll be easy. And it sounds easy. And you're like, wow, no, it's not easy. Because if it was easy, we'd all be doing it. And particularly that slog and that transition, and a lot of people I work with at that stage where they're comfortable in their corporate lives. So to leave that comfort and then to go and jump into your own business, that is a massive step. And you think about your family, your friends, and you sacrifice time at the start, you sacrifice money, you sacrifice a lot. And so what I try to do with the planner is to kind of just compile this guide to, okay, these are the conversations you need to have. These are the people you need to reach out to. This is what you mentally have to prepare yourself for before you've even started. Because it's not for everybody, and there's no right or wrong path in this world. There's just the one that you take. But if you are going to take this entrepreneurial path, you should really try and be prepared, because it affects you, it affects your family, it affects your friends. And you have to be comfortable with going live on Facebook, where you never used to do that before, potentially, if that's part of your business plan. And it just takes a lot of preparation, and I want people to feel comfortable leaving their corporate lives, knowing that their foundations are there and they're good to go.
It's interesting that you said that about leaping out of your comfort zone and doing something as simple as a Facebook Live or appearing on camera. I actually have done interviews where the people don't want to appear on camera. And it makes it more difficult for me as the interviewer when I can't see your face, because I don't have any clues. So I have to listen really hard. But you're really, really right, because it is difficult. And you may think, oh, it's so easy, because you're right. The gurus say, all you do is you throw up a website and you start talking about it, but they don't explain to you that it may mean that you're working hours and hours and hours, and days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into years, and you don't have a support system because your family and your friends may or may not be supportive. And like me, I talk a lot to my cats, and I use my cats for the support. One of my cats' name is Clarity.
Nice. Very good.
The other one's name is Cash Flow. If that tells you anything about things that have been on my mind, is I need to focus. Oh, one of my cat dearly departed, his name was Focus. Aww. Focus, Clarity, and Cash Flow have been a big part of my life. And yes, they were real cats, but that was also something, and I deliberately used that in order for me to constantly remind myself. And one of the things that I really want to know, because I look back and I go, man, if I had known this, I could have shaved years off of this journey. and probably eliminated a lot of tears from the journey also. What do you wish you had known before you took your leap?
Absolutely. So I think there were two things really. And the first one was just to keep it simple. And again, with the gurus out there, I think there's this dream of the unicorn billion-dollar idea that's going to change the world and revolutionize things. These ideas are actually often simple. Like Uber is a really simple concept. Tesla, what he's doing, again, simple stuff. I mean, technically more challenging, but the concept is simple. And with starting a business out, keep it simple. Don't worry about the bells or the whistles. What you need to do is just validate that your idea has a market. And so don't go off and invest thousands in advertising. Invest some in advertising to get a feel for it, to get those data points so you can analyze what's going on. And everyone goes to you, all the people who've been ahead of you in the game kind of go, hey, let's just do a simple thing, just do one thing. And you're like, no, it can't be that simple to be simple. And of course, actually, they're so right. So, if I'd known from the start just to focus on coaching like I am now, I would have saved a lot of time and a lot of energy, because I love it. Seem to be all right at it. People pay me money, so that's a good sign. And I can help people in so many different ways. And actually, all my collective experience again helped me to do the coaching, and the bruises that I've got along the way also do help. But I almost didn't believe that it could be that simple. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that until you do it, only then do you realize, oh my gosh, it is actually that simple. So that's the first thing, really. The second thing, though, is the importance of people. And the entrepreneur life can be quite lonely. Like I said, animals are super important to everyone I know who's an entrepreneur, because we all talk to our animals. But we desperately need people. And then there are very few people in the world who are natural hermits, and very few people in the world who can operate in isolation. And being a solopreneur doesn't mean being on your own. It just means you need to find a different way of connecting with people, but build those networks, reach out to people, because 9 times out of 10, people respond in kindness. They really do. And I've not been proved wrong yet, so I'm going to keep telling people that's the truth. But I honestly think, particularly in the world of entrepreneurship, because we all know how hard it is, because we know that journey that you go on, there is so much help and support people are willing to give. And I think it's not being afraid of going, excuse me, I'm stuck on this thing. I hear you're good at it. Would you mind? Some may charge you for the privilege, but a lot of people won't. They'll just go, yeah, sure, 5 minutes. Just jump on a call. And it's just remembering that people are ultimately lovely and will try to help you no matter what.
Well, just like this conversation that we're having is a good example of 2 people reaching out literally across the ocean.
Yeah.
You help one another, because by me interviewing you, I'm helping you. And by you letting me interview you, you're helping me, so it's a two-way street. And we're both operating in a world, we're using our computer technology, but yet to be able to talk to someone who has something in common with you, like our cats, it makes it really nice to say, hey, I have a friend who lives in England. I mean, who wouldn't want to say that? I just love that. So of all the things that you've learned, and it's funny when you were saying about, all the things you've done, and I'm looking at you going, well, you look like you're like 18 years old, So,
go on. Far too kind.
So, of all the things you've learned in life, what of all the things is the most important thing that you've learned?
I think that fundamentally, the pain you're going through now doesn't last forever. And I've had this from, I lived in Russia for part of my degree. I got hit by a car, and that was very painful in a very physical way. That doesn't last forever. And thank goodness, obviously, people are worse off than I am. Afghanistan was an interesting experience, and coming back actually was hard, because you've lived in a bubble for all this time, where you make sometimes life or death decisions. Then you come back to the real world again, and no one else who's in that world who wasn't in that well with you understands that. But even that passes. You normalize things again. Sometimes, financial struggles are there, especially after I graduated. I was not a rich person, but that passes. I think it's when you look back, you realize how small a part of your life those hard times are. They may be life-changing moments. They may shape the way you see the world, but the pain itself doesn't last forever. And you just got to keep going. And suddenly you'll wake up one day and go, gosh, that was like a year ago. And it seems like a lifetime ago. It doesn't matter anymore. I think always just remembering that in life, these moments are fleeting. When you're living them, they feel hard. But once you're through them, they have shaped you. You've learned from them, but they don't matter anymore. Oh, I've lost your sound.
Oh, I'm okay. I think I turned myself off. But it's interesting that you say that, because just yesterday, I actually was a speaker at the little angel church I go to, and I was talking about all of the bad things that happen to us. And, Thanksgiving is coming up in the United States. And so I was thinking about, we're always talking about how grateful we are and how thankful. But sometimes we look at our lives and we say, I don't have anything to be grateful for. This has been a sucky this or that, or my life hasn't been all that. But then if you actually do step back and look, you actually can see how everything got you to where you are today. And
Absolutely.
You can actually be grateful because it did shape you. It did help you to become the person you are. And most of us, like you said earlier, I think are inherently good people. And we want to help people. And sometimes things that happen to us make us more empathetic and understanding to help other people, or at least to just listen and not be judgy about it. Because we live in this world now where everybody's trying to point the finger at what's wrong with the world, when in fact, there's still a lot right with the world. So I think that's one of the things that we need to pay attention to. So tell me more about, I want to know about some of the businesses you've helped. Does any business come to mind of someone who's been unique, or a unique thing you've done?
Absolutely. So one which I love, it was absolutely amazing. It's a Viking business. And this woman, she actually makes Viking paraphernalia, clothing from scratch, the old ways that they all used to be made. And I had no idea that this whole world existed. But apparently there's a massive Viking revival scene going on. And so I worked with her to get her online shop established, to look at, her cost margins and all that kind of stuff. But the thing with that, the Viking is just the outlet for it. But the level of talent and creativity she has to make all these things, she makes candles, she makes clothes, she makes tunics, dresses, all from scratch. And that's one of the amazing things about this job is I meet these people who have these diverse, crazy businesses who, I wouldn't meet otherwise, because I wouldn't even know that Vikings were coming back, So that was a truly interesting thing. And the lengths that she went for her craft, so sourcing flint from Denmark, sourcing this from there, making it, dyeing it herself. Again, it's a true dedication to her craft. And it was a real pleasure to work with her.
That really is interesting. It's funny you brought up Vikings, because I just met a third cousin through the miracle of ancestry.
Amazing.
And I met a third cousin, and he was telling about our Viking ancestors. And I didn't even know that I had any Viking ancestors.
You are in good stock, because apparently I also have Viking ancestors. So there we go.
And it's interesting because I can imagine, back in the day, because my family came from Sweden and, that part of Europe. So that is really interesting. And isn't that cool how there's pretty much you could create a business out of whatever you're interested in.
Absolutely.
That's really phenomenal. So with all of this, how long have you been a coach, and what really motivates you to keep moving forward?
So I've been doing this 3 years. I think the last year I've moved more away from project management entirely into coaching. Although I think there's project management in everything I do because it's just in my blood, I think. But I just, it's like the lady with the Viking business. It's helping people turn their dreams into reality. So one of the things with this particular lady is she was vastly underselling herself. She was trying to compete with other people in the market, but actually her USP was, she was making everything from scratch, and that's quality and all the rest of it. But just allowing people's dreams to turn into reality, that is such a wonderful gift to be able to do. And also, the selfish side is I get to live the life that I want as well. I get to, so my husband and I grow a lot of our own fruit and veg. We've got an orchard. We make wine and all sorts from. And I went through a phase working in the corporate world when I was sick a lot because I just burnt out. I haven't been sick for 2 years now. I mean, apart from the odd stomach upset, but just my own well-being also enables me to help other people get to that well-being, I guess. So that is really it. It's just turning the dreams to reality and having a great time doing it.
Well, I think any time that you can live that life that you want, your illness level does go down a lot. And I noticed that about me too, because you don't get sick because you're happy and your body appreciates that and your immune system goes up. And I live in Florida, so I get probably a little bit more sun than you do too.
A lot more sun. I'm jealous of your sun right now, I can tell you.
So I want to go kind of look back again, because a lot of the people are going, well, that's really great, that you're living this really cool lifestyle and everything. But I'm sure that along the way that you made some mistakes that again, I always like to give people some idea of, what mistakes did you make? And, now that you have 20/20 hindsight, so that they don't have to make the same mistakes.
Absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things for me was shiny object syndrome. And starting out, again, once it's like you open a tap and suddenly it all comes flooding out. And you're suddenly aware of this world of endless possibility. And you're trying to find where you fit in that world. And then you end up buying this course or that course or this course, and then you don't finish half of them because it's not what you actually want to do. You've just been overwhelmed by the shiny object syndrome. So definitely it was getting that clarity. And for me, it took getting a coach to get me that clarity. But obviously I'm biased, I'd say get a coach. But in reality, it's finding someone who can remind you what your core mission is, what your core purpose is, and keep you on that path. And to get rid of all the distractions around you that are kind of making you, for a moment, what's that? Maybe I could do that. If you have an idea, go with that idea, at least until you've proved it completely wrong, if that's the case. But you'll probably find if you keep it simple, if you ignore the distractions, then you will get to your destination faster. And I still have a bit of the shiny object. I think it's an entrepreneur thing because you constantly want to learn, don't you? And you're like, oh, maybe I can learn about automated intelligence, and because that might help. No, it won't, Pippa. Don't bother doing that. But we all have that shiny object. So I think when you're starting out, again, keep it simple. Go with the one thing. And I wasted time and money getting distracted. And the other thing really is, like I said before, it's the pain will pass. But there were times, and sometimes I know I've had a difficult client. I'm like, gosh, this is hard work. But the pain will pass. And when you're starting out, it especially because I was like everybody else, I was in a corporate job still, I was doing it on the side. It was a long journey, and it was really important that I brought my husband on board to understand, and he didn't understand it at first. So I made him go to a conference with me, and he's like, oh, okay, I get it now. And he's been super supportive. But I think it's having those conversations with those that you love around you to go, do you know what, I'm not going to spend as much time this year with you, just not because I don't value your friendship, but I want to make this work. And actually, for me to make this work, I need to put the time in now because that'll pay off in the future. So yeah, it's definitely stay focused, ignore the shiny objects, pain will pass, and put in the time up front, but communicate what you're doing.
exactly the reason why I named my cat Focus and Clarity and Cash Flow.
Straight away. I should have thought
Because
of
shiny object syndrome really is, and I agree with you. I think it has something to do with being entrepreneurial, because you're thinking, well, how, and it goes to being, how can I stand out in the noise of
that.
everybody else? And so you see this, and believe me, I've chat bots, AI, Facebook Messenger, Facebook Live, video, because I started out doing social media and wrote a book on it, and then I went into video. And so, I mean, believe me, my journey has been up and down and all around. And when you do focus, you really do learn that the focus is going to get you where you want to go faster.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the planner, and how that planner you created is going to really help someone, because I really think that if I had had a planner, a work at home planner, oh my goodness, can you imagine how that could have helped me, so that I didn't have, run off at the shiny object here and this, and then working with the coach to help you that accountability factor, and even just having a planner to know, what am I doing from point A to point B as I transition out of my corporate or any job, because some of us, we don't necessarily work for a big corporation, but maybe we're working at Walmart as a greeter or something, and we're trying to get out of it.
Absolutely. You've still got an environment that you'll have to operate in and then transition from. So whether it's absolutely right. No, so with the planner, what I've tried to do is identify the different areas of a person's life that you need to think about. And that is literally everything from your family to the financial side to the knowledge side of what you need to know to get started. And what I've tried to do is just, part of it is there's a learning journey in there in terms of, okay, have I thought about this? Have I thought about this? Have I communicated it with my friends and family? And then there's a case of, okay, so let's get a mini plan. Let's get that focus. Because also, I mean, like when you're starting out, you may not be able to afford extra help or coaching, or you might not know where to start. If you can create a plan in your head of what you need to do and follow that path, is that it'll keep you focused, it'll keep you from being distracted, and hopefully it'll get you to your endpoint faster so you can transition faster.
So I think that it's just such a great value to have that. So make sure, everyone, that you go download the work from home planner, because it's, think about it. If it took me, and I hate to admit this, but it took me 7 years before I actually started making more than survival money, but I kept at it. And luckily for me, back in 2010, I started out in May, and the goal was, of course, to leave the JOB, because it's like a swear word. And what happened to me was I was afraid to let go, because I had the paycheck coming in. And so every month it was like, well, you know what, my business, if I could focus on my business, I could really make money. But luckily for me, 5 days after I bought my 27-inch iMac, the big screen, I got fired. And again, so even though I wanted that, I was like, sometimes that could happen. You want to leave, but you're afraid, so you'll hang on for dear life. And again, the universe said, hey, you're going.
Absolutely.
The next 30 days, I more than tripled the income that I lost, just because I was able to focus.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people respond to a bit of pressure. And I was guilty of that a little bit as well. But you get so used to the income, it is hard to break free of that, even though you can see a better life. But it's just getting over that hump. So, and I think the thing about this journey is there's no right or wrong timescale, is there? It's however long it takes you to get to the place that you need to be for you. And the other thing which I'm guilty of, and I'm sure we all are, is I look around and go, oh gosh, that someone looks more successful than me. Am I doing something wrong? But you only see what people want you to see, fundamentally. And it's only half the story. And so I think focusing on what you want and how you're going to get what you want is the only thing that matters. There will always be people who earn more than you, the people who will earn less than you. There's no right or wrong. It's what makes you happy.
I think that's really good advice. And again, I'm all about what can you do to have daily success. Before I let you go, I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to reach out to you. Obviously go get your free gift, but if they wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yes, so you can either find me on Facebook under Transition Coaching, or feel free to drop me an email. My name's quite hard to spell, but philippa.hbs@gmail.com, and I will happily answer any questions or just hop in for a chat. I'm always happy to do that.
Okay, great. And the easiest thing that you can do is just click on the button, get your free gift, and then you'll be able to connect direct through that also. But thank you so much, because I think that entrepreneurial people need to understand that yes, it's a challenge. You're going to have to work really hard. We're not going to say that you're not going to have to work hard. But like you said, if you make it simple, and this planner, the work at home planner, is going to help you to outline some really cool, easy steps so that you can make that transition a lot easier. So I thank you so much for reaching out and participating in the Daily Success Giveaway.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
So everybody, this is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Daily Success. Tune in again and subscribe. Never miss a moment of daily success.